On the Wake Up Radio presents The Center with your host, DC Radical One.
Greetings, Black family, and welcome to On the Wake Up Radio. I am your host, DC Radical One, and you have entered the center. Shout out to our wonderful producer, Cindy Ashby. You can check us out at SoundCloud, YouTube, iTunes Podcast, Google Play, Stitcher, Spotify, and now iHeartRadio at On the Wake Up Radio. Also, soon, I believe, we will be simulcasting on otwtube.com. That's the On the Wake Up Radio website. So if you could take the time to check out OTW Tube, that is owned by our wonderful producer, Cindy Ashby. And that is her platform. Greetings to Sister Nina, BB Fahody, and Straight Black Pride. Greetings to Unique One Express, Straight Black Pride, to You Got Ripped Off. Greetings to, I believe that's Sister Simba, and greetings to Sister Fonessa. And so it's been a while since I've been on the Wake Up Radio. Been doing some analysis and some trying to do some planning and some strategizing and how we move forward in the midst of this seemingly, never ending pandemic. Greetings to Sister Misty. And so been planning some things out, looking at some things, analyzing some things, and taking some time to decompress. Greetings to Four Seeds while all these things are taking place. Because I don't think that I've talked to you all since the inauguration, bringing in Mr. Biden and Ms. Harris. So the downtown DC region was completely militarized. One had to have the proper credentials to enter and exit that region. And it just so happens that I was personally affected by that event. So made my life slightly more difficult than it normally is. That's pretty much all I can say about it. But so that's one of the things that's going on. So a lot of things are taking place. Greetings to Brother Patrick, peace and black power, and straight black pride to you, family. Yeah, and other than that, of course, we had to postpone the Dr. Khaled lecture due to technical issues. We have what's the word I'm looking for? Tentative plans on a date. We also have right now the Dr. Welsing lecture planned for March, and actually it's time for me to order that. It's actually time for me to order that advertisement for that. Now that I think about it, so be on the lookout for that. The Death and Rebirth of the Goddess Black Woman, dedicated to Dr. Welsing. So, and later this month, we will have a special guest. And I'll let you all figure out who the special guest will be. It should be kind of obvious who the special guest will be. I spoke to them earlier, and he's actually has some great information that we talked about that is definitely needed by our people. Had one of those brainstorming sessions, and then you kind of come to some conclusions that you didn't see at the beginning of the discussion. Peace to Tila Nubia. Okay, that sounds like a new listener. I'm not familiar with that person, but peace and greetings to you. Sister Farnessa kind of gave it away. You guessed already. I guess that didn't take long. So yeah, Brother Genie is scheduled to appear later this month, and I'll let you all know. You'll get the notification when I put up the when it's scheduled. So, and I'll definitely put it up on my Instagram page. I just realized that I don't have my normal. Anybody tell me don't have my normal banner running along the bottom. There you go. For those who might ask, hey, what's your Instagram page? I don't know you. You can follow me there on Instagram at dc.radical1. The Twitter is dc underscore radical underscore ONE. The Cash App $ DC Radical One. Of course, this is the YouTube, capital D small c Radical One. So all of that is along the bottom. Greetings to Lord Bell. I didn't see you come in. It's been a long time. Yeah, I know. I was just talking about that. So, a lot of things that were going on in DC. A lot of things going on with me personally. Sometimes I have to take a step back and analyze things. That's why you got ripped off talking about we know you're getting up there in age. Ha ha. Yeah, brother. Well, I mean, you only have two choices in life: mature or leave the building. So I have no plans to leave the building. So I will continue maturing. So I just wanted to get into this discussion, and this is truly, a lot of times when I put a question in the title, um, it's a rhetorical question. This time it's not a rhetorical question. This is like a question. Like I thought about it. I do not have the answer. So I said I'll put the question before the people. Is it time for Black people to separate from Black people? Now, normally that sounds weird, right? Like, what do you mean? We always hear people who are pro-Black and Pan-Africanists and so forth, so on, talking about, um, hey, we need to separate from Yurugu, or we need to separate from these people or that people, so forth, so on. But is it time for right thinking, um, progressive, and not progressive in the greetings, Negrito? Yes. Um, oh, yes, to your question. To your question, yes, that's the correct person. Um, Progressive, not in the sense of politically what they call politically progressive, but people who want Black people to progress forward. Is a time for them, us, really, people who still believe that. No, excuse me, correction. People that know that a man should be with a woman because that's how you produce life, right? People who know that it's better for two Black people to be together because you produce more Black people, right? Weirdly enough, hold up, let's see, brother got a question. Is my Oh, you mean it's Brother Genie? Yeah, I'm not Brother Genie, brother. But is Brother Genie's Facebook shut down? Yes, all his social media has been shut down. However, he will be coming on the show within the next couple of weeks. Yeah, but all his social media has been shut down. And in fact, I don't know if you all saw it. I hope you did see it. His When he showed up and did a presentation, well, actually three presentations on T West's YouTube page. T West is no longer on YouTube now. I believe he's on Twitch. So let's just say that they're going to extreme lengths to silence certain voices, and there are reasons for that. But yeah, we're gonna have something good for you, unless of course they shut down my YouTube page before he shows up. Can't put anything past anybody. But back to the question at hand. Um, is it that time? And then if it's that time, how do you go about it? And of course, we don't want to discuss the entire strategy here publicly, but it was a couple of things that I've seen lately in the news. Well, they weren't in the news locally, but on the internet. And it's things that when you see them, you're like, okay, this is extreme. And not that these things are normal, but the fact that they're occurring in our community. Um, let's see. Okay, brother, I'm not familiar with that. Um, yeah, I don't know about that. And sister says, "You do know me. I'm just using another handle." Okay, okay, yeah, no, yeah, everything's well. Everything's well. Actually, I talked to him today. Um, but I want to go over this story because I just found the story so disturbing. And we hear so many things, sort of like this in our community. We're used to death in our community. We're used to black people um, dying young. We're used to the good person dying. But this story struck me, and this story is one of the things that made me say, "Okay, hold up." So, and I really wish I actually had to put it together to put it up on the screen, but I didn't. I, what I was doing this morning took longer than I thought. Then I was like, you know what? I just do it as is rather than change the subject. But it says this is the Daily Mail, so this UK paper, but it's talking about something that happened here. It says, "Oh well, she dead now. Four girls aged 12 to 14 who were arrested for stabbing a 15-year-old to death in Walmart bragged about it on social media after fleeing." Right? I'm gonna let that marinate for a minute. 12, 13, 14-year old, to me, little girls. I mean, it's not even high school. 12 years old. Are you still in elementary school? 12 years old. I guess it depends on when you're born. Stab a 15-year-old girl, and it didn't say this, but what I saw, it was on her birthday at Walmart while she was at work. Y'all heard what I said, right? 13-year-old, 14-year-old, 12-year olds got together to stab a 15-year-old girl while they streamed it on social media in Walmart. And y'all know Walmart's always crowded, even more so now because it's one of the few places that people seem to be able to go. Now I'm not sure. This was in Louisiana, so I'm not sure what you know the C-19 regulations are there. And bragged about it. It says footage has since emerged of the girls bragging about the alleged killing on social media after fleeing the store. The girls allegedly used a knife they had stolen from the store in the fatal attack. How can you raise your children in an environment where you can not take them to work at Walmart to make a little extra money without them getting killed by their peers? How? All right. This is the environment we're in. The brother says I blame hip hop and rap culture. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's definitely a part of it. We've talked about that on previous shows. But for years, right, there's been a discussion of uh, the crisis amongst the boys, the crisis amongst the boys, crisis amongst the boys, right? Um, but I feel like we've been ignoring a crisis amongst our young women for a long time. And this is just one example. If you are a parent, right, this is like your worst nightmare. But it's something that if you have sons, you would think about. You're like, oh my God, hope he doesn't just get into something with some knucklehead that tries to kill him for no reason. Right? I buy him the new Jordan, somebody get mad, they try to kill him. Stuff like that. Because stuff like that happens. I mean, stuff like that was happening when I was a teenager, right? But 12-year-old little girls, that's not, um, you know, stuff like that was not happening when I was a teenager. Stuff like that wasn't happening when I was in my 20s. I don't remember stuff like that happening in my 30s. So, as I like to always say, everything is getting worse. So, at what point, this is just an example, but at what point, as a person who wants to progress, do you say, I can't allow my children in a normal environment where stuff like this happens? And they have a quote from one of the little girls that says, I don't give a blank. If she killed her, she killed her. Oh, effing well, she dead now. One of the girls said in the video. And they said that footage of the stabbing was posted on social media, which means it was on Facebook because every time somebody kills somebody, it's always on Facebook. I don't know what's going on with Facebook and black people getting killed. I don't know why that comes up all the time. Um, and then it says that initially they named a 13-year-old wanted over the stabbing. So it was a 13-year-old that did stabbing of the 15-year-old on the young lady's birthday. And Negrito says school system as well. And sister says, I blame the parents. It's about how our children are not being raised. And of course, you got ripped off says, we're seeing the future degradation of our people through small hat and angle interference, without question. Without question. And Lord Bell says, hey, thank you, Lord Bell, for reminding me. Hit the like button, brothers and sisters. In fact, hit the like button when you come in. Just make it part of your ritual. Just think about it like you ringing the doorbell. As you come in, you hit the like button, then you come on through and we have this discussion. So that's just one example. Then, like someone else, somebody sent me a post, Negro pedophile. Negro pedophile. I mean, we can't do anything. We got pedophiles in our community. We just can't. It goes without saying. I don't have to say it. So if you have pedophiles, if you have children killing children, you got black people selling drugs to black people shooting black people. You have rapists running around, just regular old rapists. It's so bad that just regular rapists, as opposed to pedophiles, you have to make a different line for them. You have, I mean, you have the people who, you have the guys with 20 children by 13 different women. You got the women that have children by guys that they know already have 12 children. You have the men that don't like black women. You got the black women that don't like black men. And there's all of this confusion going on. And I haven't even got to the black people who are determined to love Yurugu regardless of whom or what. And then those who bow down to the hackers. Right? So we got that. Then we got the entertainers. Right? I mean, and I know y'all saw it. I should have found a picture. I couldn't find a picture of Lil Uzi Vert and that ginormous diamond that he has in his head that now is bleeding and infected, and he worried about dying. Just, if you don't know what I'm talking about, just Google little Uzi Vert diamond and you'll see it. So this person's a rapper. He has decided that he wants to install a reportedly $24 million diamond in his forehead that he's paying for in installments because he's only worth, I believe my brother told me, between 12 and 16 million. So he, even though he's a millionaire, he's purchased something more than his entire net worth to install in front of his head. Why do I care? I only care because the young people see him and they listen to him and they try to follow behind these people. I only know who some of these people are because I had to research them for doing a show, a guest appearance on another show on hip hop. Like I guess that's been 3 years ago now. But the thing about it is, for those of you who are parents, if you don't know who these people are talking to your children through their cell phone and influencing them to do ridiculous things. And you got ripped off says that, or little Nas X getting breast implants. I thank you, brother. I had forgot about that. I don't know how the original Nasir Jones, even allows this guy to walk around with his name. I'm sorry. I would have to, you know, I would have to send the good brothers over to talk to him. You got to call yourself something else. And again, this is another person had. I know he had the number one song. I don't know which year it was. You know, Old Town, whatever it was. Lord Bell says Lil Uzi Vert's lying about the price of the diamond. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised by that, but the point is, you know, all of these people, their job is to mislead our youth down the path of destruction, right? I mean, that we know. And the reality is, you don't have any young people, or your young people are destroyed. You have no future. And that's kind of where we are. So that's what spurred the discussion. Is it time for black people to separate from black people? And then where can you go on earth where this type of stuff isn't influential because it's beamed all over the world now? And we haven't got to the homophilia because we know. We can reiterate it yet again, but we already know. Unique One Express says, and these are ones that a lot of our children are inspired by. Exactly. I mean, and Brother Negrito gave us a location, Pacific Islands. I mean, I will at this point open to suggestions. Lord Bell says Lil Uzi actually copied his idea. Oh, copied the idea for his head from Sauce Walker. I don't even know who that is. Who has a diamond in his face. Rappers watch him and copy him. Wow. Okay. So he's biting somebody, and I'm sure somebody's going to bite him. So I mean, the insanity is spread far and wide, And this is how bad things have gotten as far as like the homophilia and the demasculization, the feminization worldwide. China has started a program to in essence make their males more masculine, right? And normally I wouldn't pay attention to that except for the fact that that's the same China that's in Africa trying to take over the continent. And that just goes to show you that they're aware that something's going on. When you have a government program to make your men more masculine, that means somewhere you've noticed a problem. Now, me personally, I never really I really never connected China or Chinese people, Chinese culture, and homophilia. I haven't studied it, so I have no idea at all. Like I have nothing there. But if you have a program um, for that, that tells me all I need to know. And in fact, what it tells me is they have identified. That means they've identified that as an attack, and they're trying to neutralize the attack, or else you wouldn't come up with a government program for that. It says China promotes education drive to make boys more manly. A notice from China's education ministry has caused a stir after it suggested young Chinese men have become too feminine. The message has been criticized as sexist by many online users, but some say China's male celebrities are partly to blame. Does that sound familiar? The celebrities are the problem. Now, we don't, me personally, I have no idea who any of these people are as far as Chinese celebrities. I remember years ago, man, I don't even know how long ago it was. There was, what was it? I think the Korean War memorial, something like that. And they had some Asian music person. I don't know who this person was downtown. I just happened to be in there. And this guy came on stage and there was a near riot. So one thing that lets me know, right, is that there are people who are extremely famous in other parts of the world who I have no idea who they are, who can definitely influence people's culture without you knowing who they are. Be before their family, straight black pride, brother Desaline. I didn't see you. Um, I didn't see you come in the building. So that lets me know that if China's taking this head on publicly and made an announcement about it, they see this as an attack without saying it's an attack. And the fact that they identified celebrities as part of the problem, I don't know what the music industry is there. But one thing we know for a fact, we know who's in charge of the music industry and the entertainment industry here. We don't have to say it. But it gets back to our point. They have a they're a sovereign nation, they have sovereign land. They can implement those types of things. We're in a totally different position. But it engenders the question: is it time? And it seems like most people say it is for black people to separate from black people. I think we come to an agreement pretty much. Understand that as far as separating as much as we can from the greater society while we're here, that kind of goes without saying. And Sister Vanessa says in Taiwan, homophilia is rampant. There's a couple of Asian countries where homophilia is rampant. I know Thailand is just the pedophilia there is off the charts. It's unreal. It's unspeakable. It's so much a part of the thing that it just happens every day in broad daylight. Nobody even. In fact, it is a tourist destination for pedophiles. That's how bad it is. But for us here, you know, because I gotta put it. The thing about it is, if you say, "Hey, it's time for black people to separate from black people," then here's the ramifications of it. All right, all of us have family members, and probably the majority of our family members who, um, in essence, are still asleep, right? All of us have family members who, I mean, all of us have, unless you come from extremely rare family, all of us have family members who voted for Joe Biden. All of us have family members who believe Kamala Harris is actually a black person. All of us have family members who are homophiles. All of us have family members who, well, not gonna say all of us, but most of us have family members who are or have been addicted to drugs, right? And on and on and on and on. Are you willing to sacrifice that relationship with family members? Because if you're going to separate from black people, some of the black people you're going to separate from is your family. Now, personally, that's a choice I made in my life before. But it's one of those easy to say, hard to do type things. You know, I did it for different reasons. I did it to protect people in my family because I knew doing doing race work at that time, you put a target not on your back, but also the backs of people who are closest to you. This is a different thing though. If right thinking, race first, progressive black people decide to separate and there's no one to give any guidance, are we assuredly dooming those we leave behind to destruction? And if we is that a choice we're willing to live with? Right? Those are questions we have to ask. Or do we stay, and I guess stay the course, do what we've been doing and try to educate as many of our people can, save as many of our people as we can, things like that. And brother, you got ripped off said, just had an in-law come out of the closet to me, but she wants to fight the sickness. All I could do was give her Jeannie's lecture, feminism, lesbianism, and the making of the Black Widow. Also, I don't know if you have a copy, brother. If you have a copy of Predators in Our Midst, that would definitely benefit her. Get her a copy of that. I believe there's an edited version on YouTube, but you can always go to warnerhorizon.com and get the full version. That will definitely, I think, will help. I'm trying to think any other resources off the top of my head. Okay, yeah, you said you got to order. You thought, yeah, okay. Let's see. Lord Vale says we're going to have to cut off family members. I've already done it years ago. Yeah. And like I said, like people don't. I never even told people why, but I just didn't want people in the crosshairs. And it's understood by. So it was understood by my grandmother that I'd be in the crosshairs, that more than likely I had already, and this discussion was years ago, that it was highly likely that FBI had a dossier on me. So, I mean, when you're in the movement, you're seriously in the movement, and you've been in the movement for decades, it's the type of discussion that occasionally come up in your family. It just is what it is. People, they know you. They know no matter what, he's going to revert back to doing this stuff. It's, okay, it is what it is. Unique One Express says sometimes in life, sacrifice is a must, especially if one desires to pursue a life of integrity and peace of mind. try to help out first, and if all fails, keep it moving. Okay, yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely. I mean, sacrifice. You really can't accomplish any progress at all, even on a personal level, without sacrifice. To be completely honest, um, but this was a question I was wrestling with. I didn't want to be on too long because do have to go and cook something I haven't eaten today. But when I saw things like these little girls, and it struck me because of their youth, how young they are, and I think what I had saw was that the one of the parents actually took them to the Walmart. So they because this was in Lake Charles, Louisiana, so it wasn't like it's in a city where it wasn't like it's in New York. You hop little kids, they hop on the train, they go up there, they do what they do. No, somebody took them there, and you just see all of the confusion and all of the madness going on in our community. And I myself think, how can anyone raise their child in these environments and they have any of their African sanity left, right? Brother said, no surprise when you say Louisiana. Normally, and there's somebody I watch occasionally on. I actually hadn't watched the stuff in a long time, but I used to watch on YouTube. Normally, when he does these things, man, Florida comes up a lot. I don't know what's in the water down there, but yeah, Florida comes up a lot. Usually, when it's you know black people acting up, Florida comes up a lot. Louisiana too, but this one just took me aback. But man, I'm wrestling with this question. I'm be honest, I'm wrestling with this question because there's a part of me, and I remember I talked about this a long time ago on Twitter, on my old Twitter page that they took off because I was outraged about the murder of Sandra Bland. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe it's Sandra Bland's birthday. You know, rise in power to Sandra Bland, rise in power to Trayvon, who somebody posted that Trayvon would have been, I believe, 26 on his birthday. Which I just, you know, that one took me aback because he would have been a fully grown man now. And the fact that, the hat's still walking around, breathing, it's very disturbing. That's all I'm saying on that. But I think that, and I don't know the how, but I think that we definitely have to begin the process of of at least where we are, if there are enough people where we are, and if there are not enough people where we are, think about relocation and building um, communities of like-minded people. You know, sister says, as black people, do you think leaving the U.S. is the answer? Well, it's interesting you mentioned that. And I don't see the sister here because I did not tag her. So, but yeah, there's a young sister that I know that actually has relocated to the continent. And from what she's telling me, while the people are hospitable and very kind and warm, they are not very knowledgeable. And of course, that could be a problem because in a lot of places on the continent, that um, there's still a great love for Yoruba. And in fact, I was talking to somebody this morning. The president of Ghana said that basically he's going to seek to vaccinate the entire population. So that is not a place that I would be looking forward to go. And I haven't talked a lot about the vaccine other than in the lecture. That will become a topic of discussion without question. There's some things that I learned recently that make things way, let's just say my information on it has increased a lot recently, way more than I had before. Um, and Sister Vanessa says there are islands that can be purchased. I don't know. Okay. Yeah. Learn something new every day. Um, so yeah, so that's interesting. Okay. Learn something new every day. But yeah, yeah, without question, it's a worldwide issue because this vaccine thing is y'all see. Y'all see. We're y'all will see. We're gonna get that information out. It's worse than I thought. And I thought it was bad. But it's way worse than I thought. It's way worse than I thought. So we're gonna get that information out. We're working on it literally, not as I speak. I'm not working on it as I speak. I'm not that good, but it's being worked on as I speak. And so when you look at that, I mean, I'm gonna be completely honest. I'm all for and the brother talks about mutating your DNA with the vaccine. Absolutely. I'm all for relocation for those people who have nothing to gain here. You know, I'm not one of those people that's like, we gotta stay here no matter what. I'm not one of those people. I believe in flexibility because there could come a time where they just decide everyone has to take the vaccine or you can't engage in commerce, right? Then saying that people should stay here doesn't make any sense, right? I mean, I believe we have to be flexible, but I believe that those of us who are like minded, we can't, well, strategically, we can't all be in the same place, meaning that we can't have a community and everybody that every African person that knows be in one place just so they can drone strike us and be done with us. We can't do that strategically. You just doesn't make sense because we know what they'll do it. I mean, one of the nicknames for President Obama was President Obama. Yeah, it's one of his nicknames, right? People forget it, but yeah, I remember when people were calling him that. And some of those people were liberals. That was the thing. It wasn't Republicans. It was liberals calling him that. So it wasn't even a political thing. It just was what it was. So we understand that. But there has to be some consolidation. And I'm trying to think, like the Amish, I guess. Are the Amish everywhere? Y'all let me know. Or are they only in like Pennsylvania and stuff? Y'all let me know. Because I always thought the Amish were like in a few different places. They're kind of out the way. You don't notice them. Kind of doing their thing. You know, I was thinking like something like that. Which, you just see some black people. You don't know who they are. Some weird black people that over there doing their thing. You kind of ignore them. You know. I mean, that to me, that might be the answer. No, because you see the Amish, you see them. They just, there's like some weird white people that are, you might, if you live on the East Coast at least, there's certain parts of like Pennsylvania, certain parts of Maryland, so forth, so on. I know where they are. They have their goods that they sell and their fruits and things like that. And you just go there, you buy the stuff, you keep on going. And the brother says they're Amish in New Zealand. Okay, I didn't know that. You know, so that's news to me. But why can't there? Why can't we be like that while we build up ourselves and be all around the world, you know, minding our own business? That's my thought. Because that way you can be separate but accessible to the people, you know, and then you can build up communities, you can build up your tribe, you know, without. But here's the here's the dangerous part, though, or and that's not the downside, but it's the dangerous part. The dangerous part is I know what happens, even with them in any religious group. One thing is you're not religious, so can you even get exemptions to do stuff like that? Because there are a lot of laws that you don't know about where you can't exclude people based on certain things and all that. So I mean, the legalities of that, I guess, will have to be looked into. But the danger is your children still being lured away from you, even as you try to implement your culture and raise them in an environment around like-minded people where the culture, um, with in essence a completely separate culture, right? Because we have some institutions, we have some schools, you know, uh, the Barudis in Atlanta, Baba Zulu here. We have some schools, we have some institutions for our children, but before the children walk in that door, they're under psychological assault by the European. And when the children walk back out that door, they're under psychological assault by the European. The question is, can you make a strong enough environment to insulate them from that? And then what do you do when they become grown and they want to see the rest of the world? Do you send them to the other communities in, um, wherever you are around the world? I mean, those are type of thoughts. But I was talking to Sister Misty, and we were just saying like whatever we're doing now is not, it's not working. As Black people, it's not working. It's not working. Our sons trying to become our daughters, it's not working. Our daughters, I don't even killing each other at 13, 14, 15. That's not working. Um, Pedophiles running rampant in the community, can't have that. Black people loving enemies. I mean, the list goes on and on. It goes on and on. And we can't, we cannot continue in the direction we're going at the speed we're going and be um and succeed and forget succeeding and exist at this point. As I always say, Dr. Collett always said, we must resist to exist. We can't do, as a collective of Black people, we can't do what we've been doing and continue to exist. And things are going to get worse because things always get worse. Since I've been alive, everything's gotten worse. The attacks on Black people have gotten worse. Black people's lack of response has gotten worse. The number of leaders that we have has gotten fewer, right? The number of traitors that we have has gotten more. And the traitors are propped up as the leaders, which means you're in bad shape. And that's just not just here in America, that's around the world. Like I was thinking about this one day, right? One of the things that black people always say, right? When I hear a lot lately, and at first it almost sounds like it makes sense. What is one of the things black people always say? We always say we don't need leaders, right? And then when you say why don't we need leaders, people say, oh, because they always killed our leaders, which to me points to the actual opposite of us not needing leaders. To me, it means that you need leaders because if you didn't need leaders, they wouldn't kill your leaders. Right? Y'all tell me if I'm wrong. Because you can make the argument that since the death slash murder of Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad, and we talked about all the people we lost. Last show, Dr. Khalid show, we talked about all the people we lost in the 90s. That we've had an extremely um, the number and quality of leaders has gone down since that time. Let's put it that way. Overall, I'm not saying we don't have any leaders. I'm just saying the quality's gone down. Brother Daoud, peace, brother. I'm doing well. Thank you for checking in. Um, so the quality and number of leaders we had has gone down, and those leaders have been replaced largely by entertainers, which is weird that black people would fall for that since Malcolm X talked about it 60 years ago. But hey, we don't all study. Malcolm X said it best, and I'm going to paraphrase. Where in the white community is a trumpet player, a leader. You know, no white rappers are leaders in the white community. Just not. But weirdly enough, for a little while, they had a TV personality as a leader, which just goes to show you how bad it is in America, how bad America is getting, how much of a dearth of leadership America has, which points you to the fact that if America has a dearth of leadership, who's actually leading America? For that answer, I just will say that Mr. Biden received an award, and I believe I talked about this before, from Henry Kissinger, the Theodore Herzl Award for service to Israel. I'll let you make the connection from there. The now current president was given an award for service to Israel before he became president. Just let that marinate. Right? That leads us to the state of America and where America is going to be going forward. That tells you whose agenda we moving forward. And I'm not going to get deep into that now because, being completely honest, I would like to keep my channel on until Brother Jenny shows up on the channel. That's being completely honest. Because without question, as we talked about earlier, Sister Fonessa says, okay, yeah, yeah, I see my producer is not here. Normally she does that, but yeah, if you want to volunteer for that, I will. Yeah, I can put you in after the show. It's not a problem. I want to go through the whole process of that now. You know, but yeah, that's where America stands, and since we're here in America, you know, we're affected by that. And Tila Nubius says, truth be told, there will be many things that we never have control over or personally I personally think we need to focus and figure out things we can control. Um, if you mean we, as in those of us who are here now, I agree. Some things are going to take longer than one life span to do because took us more than one lifespan to get here. But one of the things I think we can control is we can control coming together in different regions. That we can do. We can, we can control who we let into our lives personally and who we interact with on a personal basis. That we can control as well. That's so those are things you can control now and begin to work on immediately. You know, but as far as um, the greater black society, no, we can't control all black people because if we could control all black people, we wouldn't be in this condition. We would wave a magic wand or hand everyone a copy of Destruction of Black Civilization and you know force them to read it. But life doesn't work that way. Uh, Brother Dawood says we can control where and when we spend our money as well. Absolutely, absolutely. There's no question about that. We can control. Speaking of things we can control, since we're going down this line of thinking, we can control who we mate with. You know, mate selection is a thing that's major to me. Mating with the wrong person sets you as a man or woman sets you back. I mean, can be life destroying. Just being completely honest, because if you're race first and you reproduce with someone that's not race first, you in for a world of hurt. I've seen it. I've seen it up close and personal. I've seen it. I've seen it. I've seen it with brothers who get with sisters, and you know, they have knowledge. The sister, a hardcore Christian, or doesn't like, uh, you know, just is against the knowledge. It's a problem. Brother Magus Zeal says, I have a hypothesis. Have a hypothesis. Excuse me. That the Spaniard and Portuguese created these Hispanic peoples as Uruguay's backup plan once their numbers started dropping. Interesting. I hadn't thought about that. I had to think about that. One thing I know for sure, related, not directly related to what you just said, but sort of related to what you said, is that as far as our political situation here in America, since we're here, Mr. Biden has already stated that we're about to be replaced by Hispanics. I mean, he said that publicly. Um, yeah, as someone just said, yeah, he said that publicly. I know y'all saw the video with him and Sharpton and the rest of those people. If not, let me know, and I'll find it. I'll try to find it and chop it up and just post it on the page. But yeah, he said that. He's like, you guys. He almost said like, you Negroes need to learn how to get along with Hispanics because they're going to replace you soon. You know, and no one said. I don't remember anyone making any objection whatsoever. I could be wrong. It's been a while since I watched it, but when I saw it, I was just like, okay. I wasn't surprised. I was just like, yeah. I figured that's how he would talk to them. And they just sat there. I believe Mark Morial was there and some other civil rights people, and they just, yeah, they just took it. They were just happy to be there in the presence of Urugu. I just, you know, it was what it was, and I haven't talked about Sharpton in a while. He'll be since Farnessa says no, they didn't object to anything Biden said in the meeting. Right. Okay, so you saw it now. Brother Dawood said that we have tried to teach. Hold up, we have tried to for so long teach revolution when the message should be race first, and the rest will come on its own. Yeah, I mean, we have to get back to basics because to your point, people think that they can be pro black and then reproduce with Urugu and you know the Hispanic mamacitas that the brother was talking about, and you know Ling Ling and all the rest of these people, but they pro black, right? So yeah, you have to. I mean, you again, that's the foundation of straight black pride. You have to start with the basics. You have to start with the straight part, move on to the black part, then get to the pride part. You know, that's literally why straight black pride was founded, because the brothers and sisters looked around before I got there. I'm like, hold up, we got resist this right now. And now it's everywhere. I mean, it's all on the media. Uh, Sister Misty was like talking. She's like, "Oh yeah, when that Super Bowl come on, we're gonna see all types of commercials with all type of mixed race couples and some homophilia and all types of stuff." And I was like, "Oh, God, you're right, because the stuff's gonna be beamed around the world." I didn't even think about it. I need to record it just so we might have to have a show just breaking down the commercials just to see what they put in, because these are commercials that are going to be seen by, I don't even know how many, anybody know, throw out a number, how many billion people watch the Super Bowl? There's a billion people watch the Super Bowl. Like, that in essence, one out of seven people on Earth, 14% of the world population, and it may be more than that. I don't know. I'm just strictly just guessing. Like, the number seems to go up every year. I always, you know, always wonder because in most countries they don't play. Their thing is what we call soccer. So, but I know they beam it around the world. That I know. So, I mean, that's gonna be interesting to see what is really, how much are they gonna push the agendas that they've been pushing on the biggest platform, the biggest TV day of the year. You know, Sister Farnessa. Okay, I didn't see that. Sister Farnessa says we have run out of time trying to teach and save our people. We have to move expeditiously in coming together of like minds. Yeah. Wow. So y'all saying it too, huh? I'm just asking, but y'all saying it too. Lord Bell says Little Nas X just got implants. He might have a super bowel commercial. That thought had not even occurred to me, brother. Reading that made my head hurt. Truth, the honest truth. The thought of that just gave me a headache. Just, man, what if you're right? Uh, where's that Taylor Nubia? You're gonna have to hit me on Instagram. Let me know who that is. I have no idea who this is. Yes, you are seeing it now. All I see on commercials now is a black man and a white woman or a non-black woman. Oh no, they moved beyond that. Now it's the black women with the white man. They 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 started doing the black man with white woman like 2-3 years ago. They they gave it a minute, and then they started doing the sisters with the cornball um, Urugu. But they set sisters up for that, um, and they set sisters up for uh, what's her name? Scamala, with that TV show Scandal that was so popular. What was it, 6, 7, 8 years ago, however long ago that was. Yeah, that was predictive programming. I remember I used to be on Twitter before they kicked me off, and every yeah, I guess every Thursday they would all the sisters would talk about Scandal, and oh my god, Scandal this, Scandal that, Scandal that. And I was like, this show can't be that good. And then I looked at the show, and she was laid up with Yurugu, and I was like, okay, I'm never watching that. And here we are, you know, with here we are with the vice president and her hat husband, as an example for our little girls, right? You know, here we are with that being presented as the ideal for our women. I mean, here on YouTube, we got what they call them. You got swirling channels, and on Twitter they got divestors and all this. So there's a whole movement amongst the sisters now, breaking down why they should leave black men and get on with the oppressor, who black women have historically up until I would say I'll say at least the 90s. Black women have historically hated Yurugu more than brothers, to be honest. And yet, here we are with sisters openly, declaring their love. This is what's so crazy. This is what's so crazy. We have sisters openly declaring their love for Yurugu males while complaining about patriarchy and racism. That's how I'm saying a lot about people are. And Sister Nubia says you're also seeing more gay black men in commercials. Absolutely. And the brother says Billy Porter. Man, the sight of that dude, man, makes my stomach hurt. Seriously. It is unreal. Speaking of that, is a BB Fortier man here? No, he's not in here. Yeah, he showed me something. They're talking about recasting Black Panther with a very questionable looking gentleman. I'll just say it like that. Someone who doesn't look very African and doesn't look very manly. And there's discussion about casting him as the new Black Panther. So, anybody, children or a fan of Black Panther, be ready for them to take that in the direction of all the other agendas that have been put out. just warning you now. So, it's looking like they're going to that Wakanda is going to fly the rainbow flag in the future. That's what it's looking like. So there it is. With that, that's letting you know now for those who have children, because I know a lot of people took that. Right. Okay. He is biracial. Yeah, I figured that. Yeah, he definitely needs some. Seems to be lacking in some testosterone. So yeah, won't be watching that. That's the move that they decide to make. So, I mean, apparently, I'm just from y'all with the question at hand. Let's see. Brother Magazine says we know our sisters are in dire straits when a Urugu football players try to kill a zaddy chasing sisters and black women are saying nothing but. Oh man, I'm glad you. Thank you, brother. I forgot. We were sitting around talking about all this other stuff. I completely forgot about that. And then there was some sisters on Twitter. Yeah, not on either. They were basically kind of defending them or saying why is it a racial issue, and then throwing it back and saying, oh well, black men do it too, and black men do it more. I'm like, really? That that's your argument. Um, that is, bro. Yeah, yeah. That exposed a lot of sisters was exposed with that incident with this. I mean, because that the European said he was surprised that she was alive, so he tried to kill her. And there's a big old ginormous Urugu, like 6'8", 290 or something. It's something. It's just some big old huge peckerwood. And sisters defended it. Yeah, 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 bro. That was sisters had to hold a L on that one. Um, Brother Lord Bell asks, "Am I going to watch Judas and the Black Messiah?" It's so interesting that you asked that, brother, because I'm definitely going to watch Judas and the Black Messiah because I have an inkling of what they're going to do. And here's what's crazy: there's a part of that that relates to the Dr. Khaled lecture, which we're aiming for May around Malcolm X Day. So um that's what we're looking at now. So when we saw that and we saw that the movie's coming out, I was like, oh, it's great. It's great that the movie comes out first, so we can break it down. And I will get, yeah, we'll get. If you know the exact date, put the date when that comes out. I think it comes out this weekend, if I'm not mistaken. I'm definitely going to see that because I want to see what they're planning to do. I have an inkling what they're planning to do, but I'm not sure. And I may just do a show breaking that film down, basically based on what I saw. So I definitely plan on seeing it. And Sister Farnessa says she does not care what happened to the sister because she put herself in that position. I feel the same way when black males put themselves in that position with Yoruba females. Oh yeah. God, it was a long time ago. I had to go on my Instagram, but there was a there was a Negro that found himself on the wrong end of a gun wielded by his Urugu lover, and I made a post about that and played some appropriate music. Found it entertaining, but Lord, it's already out. Oh, okay. I didn't know. Is in theaters or is it some type of streaming service I have to get? As you see, I'm completely out the loop. Um, yeah, I didn't know. I thought it was out. I thought they said it was coming out. I thought I saw some in sometime in the middle of the month, like this weekend or next weekend. Uh, this weekend upcoming or the weekend after that. So okay, I'm wrong. And Brother Patrick says you sleep with the enemy yard, and yeah, there it is. It's, that's pretty much sums it up in a nutshell. Nothing to add to that. Okay, so no, I did not know. Sister Farnessa says she thought it'd be out on the 12th. And Lord Bell says it's in theaters. All right, well, yeah, I can look that up. I can look that up after the show. Because what I am going to do is we're going to go to 3:30, so I can get 15 more minutes. Elijah Lewis says the movie comes out on Friday in theaters and HBO Max. Looking forward to seeing it. Hopefully, they don't tamper with the Black Panther story. Oh, they're definitely going to tamper with this story. There's no question. Absolutely. Greetings to you, brother Elijah. Didn't don't know if you've been listening or you just walked in the building, but yeah, no, they're definitely going to do that. So, hmm, okay, depending on when I see it, yeah, I will. We'll do a show discussing that. Um, I almost would like Genie to discuss it, but he has bigger fish to fry. Okay, he definitely has bigger fish to fry, but I'm definitely going to see that. So you say it is this Friday. All right, cool. I'll try to catch it out. I mean, check it out Friday. I don't have HBO Max because I feel like I'm gonna have to watch it twice. to see. One time for entertainment and one time to decode it. So that's gonna, yeah, definitely do that. With that, yeah, we'll definitely have a discussion on that. And I don't know if anyone is actually familiar with the or has seen the videos of the interviews with the, I guess, the person that's the main character, because it's called Judas and the Black Messiah. The Black Messiah is Fred Hampton. The Judas part comes first. So obviously they're doing the story from the perspective of the traitor. I don't know if y'all picked that up. Sister Farnessa says, brother, make sure to create a backup YouTube page just in case they try to shut this page down after Jenny comes on. Yeah, there's almost no question that they're going to try to shut this page down. Lord Bell says, the brother doesn't even look like Fred Hampton. Yeah, don't even get me started, man. Yeah, I thought that was very poor casting. And then there's another weird thing again where they take one of our iconic people and they take someone that's not from here and put them in the role, and something is lost in that, I believe. And of course, Brother Magus says, don't forget to hit the Cash App too. $ DC Radical 1. I appreciate that because I am going to try to get a new computer to do streaming on. So any donations will go to that to make the streaming more smooth. Trying to get something with more processing power, more memory, and it will be used largely just for streaming at events. So since a lot of events y'all can't come to, and y'all did support y'all supported both of them very much so, even though we had the issue with the last one. If y'all supporting the numbers that y'all supported at the Dr. Welsing for this, if y'all do that for the upcoming Dr. Welsing event, I'll be good. But yeah, you got a few coins you can drop in the Cash App. I appreciate it. Everything we do will basically be trying to make it better as we try to figure out this landscape of what organizing looks like in the post 19 era. Magus Zeal said One Night in Miami was cringeworthy. I still haven't watched that, and I think I kind of suspect that it's not going to be. I already somebody already pointed out the actor that played Malcolm, that he just lacked the proper masculinity and gravitas to play Malcolm. So that kind of made me not watch it. And Sister Farnessa says that's by design. They know when to cast a foreign black person that's one of our icons. The same energy will not be that, and they know that. Right. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's definitely by design. And that's not, I mean, I'm not trying to attack, make a personal attack against any of those actors, but I would rather, to be honest, if they were going to play a foreign actor, I would have liked to have seen the brother, John Boyega. He seems to have had an awakening lately. I don't know how deep that goes, but if you're going to pick people who are black but aren't from here, that's the best choice I can come up with that. I'm not sure the brother that was in I can't think of his name. The brother that was in the show Underground. If anybody used to watch that, that brother, he has a lot of he brings a lot of gravitas to his roles. I wouldn't mind seeing him. Maybe not as Fred Hampton. Of course, the movie's made now, so whatever. But he's an actor that somebody really put me on to, made me notice, and then I realized that he was the guy from that TV show Underground. I was like, oh, okay, that's the dude. Okay, he seems strong. He still carries some masculinity. I mean, we have a few people, but we understand you can only be so strong in Hollywood. I mean, we saw it with The Shy. That show. I just had to stop watching that show. Oh man. Anyway, but yeah, the brother, he came out and he didn't said he didn't want to play a homosexual, and then next thing um, she they made him recant that like immediately. I gave him props one day, then had to go back and undo it the next day. Let's see, was he the actor that was in love with Juicy Juicy Smollett's sister? Yeah, yeah, that brother. Um, Brother Magus Zeal says hats are getting homophiles to play our heroes. The brother from Underground played in Jim Brown. Oh, played Jim Brown in one. Right, right, right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I knew he was in. I couldn't remember who he played. Right. Um, and brother Dawood says, "Oh no, a movie written by another Judas apologist, i.e., people who think Judas's role as a betrayer was vital to the advancement of Jesus' story, as if the messages were not enough." Yeah, I mean, I'm just going by the title. Who's first? So that tells you what you need to know. But in the lecture, in the Dr. Collett lecture that we weren't able to do for y'all, I have documentation, video documentation of the actual person who set up Mark Clark and I don't know why I'm drawing a blank, and Fred Hampton. Yeah, I got video of him, you know, from back in the day when he did an interview after the fact. So yeah, so yeah, we're gonna talk about some Judases. We're gonna talk about some traitors. That's already there. I don't have to add or take away anything to that. It was just I wasn't thinking anything about the movie. It just kind of was one of those things. And Lord Bell says they need to be an Elijah Muhammad or Dr. York movie. That would be interesting. And that's all I'm gonna say on that. There's nothing I can say on that without irritating a lot of people. And the sister says that that brother should have been cast as Nat Turner. Right, 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 right. Because yeah, I mean, speaking of Nat Turner, I don't know, and maybe y'all saying I haven't seen American Skin, but somebody told me about it, and it was very disappointing, so I didn't watch it. But yeah, people like that. That's another thing, real quick. These actors and writers and directors and whatever who are laying down with Urugu every time. Those people trying to tell our story. Yeah, we gotta stop that because these people are not going to go hard and tell the story. Now, I will say that I thought it could be better, but I did like Birth of a Nation. But I also felt like there was more meat on the bone, if you will. There was more that could have been done with it. It could have been stronger. It could have been more militant. But yeah, I mean, as long as the dude's laying up with Urugu and that, man, please, they ain't gonna never go hard like that. And then, I mean, even in independent, they wouldn't even be able to distribute it if they went hard. You know, I don't even know. We probably need some black people to collaborate with Nollywood to make a strong militant. It don't even have to be a historical character. It could be somebody we make up, you know, write it as historical fiction and just have somebody that's just strong and militant and just rolling on people. You know what I'm saying? Just because our people just need to see that, whether it's real or not. We just need to see it. American Skin, is American Skin a Spike Lee joint, brother? Is that what you're saying? Because if so, I didn't know that. I didn't know those two were connected. Yeah, I gave up on Spike Lee a long time ago. You know, Spike Lee was he was there. We used to watch his stuff when I was before, he was making movies before I even got knowledge. So, you know, Do the Right Thing was one of my favorite movies at the time. Um, you know, it is what it is, man. When you from Brooklyn, you in Brooklyn, and you all about Brooklyn, it's one thing. But you get to Hollywood and you become Hollywood, and you all about Hollywood becomes another. You live a different experience. It's like when a rapper, sometimes you have a rapper, they write their first album, maybe even their first two albums when they're starving, they're in poverty, and then they write their third album after they make it big and it doesn't sound the same. They don't have the same hunger, you know. You see it with boxers, Boxer gets famous and selling out arenas and stuff like that. Don't train as hard, and then he gets knocked out. You're like, what happened? He wasn't as hungry. So yeah, so Spike Lee's changing up. It's par for the course, you know. It is what it is. I don't expect any of these. I was told never trust an entertainer, and that's why, because the people are controlled. I mean, did I talk about the Black Jewish Alliance thing before we go real quick? I mean, that speaks for itself, and I think that leads into something that's very big, um, very just way bigger than I thought. Maybe I just do a show on that. You know what? Let me look into that. Man, I do a show on that. Just all about that thing with Nick Cannon and Tiffany Haddish and the Black Jewish Alliance, whatever they called it. I don't know what they called it. So they made Nick Cannon bow down. It's not a shock because, hey, it is what it is. And you got ripped off. You said Floyd Mayweather married a man. Floyd Mayweather is one of the biggest Negroes that we don't talk about, man, in America. That dude, don't even get me started, man. Oh man, he's such a self-hating clown, man. It's unreal. It's unreal, man. Tiffany Louisville. Who's Tiffany? Oh, Tiffany Haddish. Oh, her father's a hat. Oh, I thought she said she was from. Her people was from Eritrea. Okay, I didn't know that. I had to look that up and see. I know she loves some Urugu. Sister Vanessa said he just didn't bow down. He bent over. Yeah, without question. Without question. So, but nah, I didn't know. I didn't know she was half a hat. So, yeah, those things speak for itself. But one thing we know for sure, you got to separate from the celebrities because we know they're compromised, and the people that worship celebrities, by extension, they're gonna be compromised. Compromised. Excuse me. So, yeah, brothers and sisters. I mean, we got work to do. The hard part is figuring out how to do it in an environment where you never know. Um, let's see. Hold up. You got ripped off. Says so. It's the title of the program states we don't need to separate from black. We need to separate from non-African minded blacks. Yeah, there it is. There it is. Um, we got work to do. You know. Um, and as I was saying, the hard figuring out how to do it in this environment where you literally day to day have, you can wake up any day and they say, oh, you can't fly. Oh, you got to have checkpoints. Oh, I mean, what I saw here in the nation's capital was like, okay, they have the capacity. It would be, okay, let me talk about this real quick. I know I said I was going to go to 3:30, but give me a few extra minutes. It's my show. I can do what I want. Has anybody seen that TV show Colony? It was coming on, I think, USA Network. They did like 2, maybe 3 seasons at the most. Then they just took it off for whatever reason, right? And it came on. This was before the pandemic. If you've seen that show, let me know. Because that's what downtown DC looked like in preparation for the inauguration. And that just let me see that they have the capacity to lock down major cities if need be. It would take a lot of work. Your brother, you got ripped off, says, Sister Vanessa says, do they still have thousands of troops here? Yes. Oh, Brother Dawood answered the question. I guess Brother Dawood was answering that question, but yes. I mean, I'm not sure their locations now, but they were really enough. They have some very nice accommodations as far as hotels. So your dollars were spent well, I guess, your tax dollars. And so as far as Nessa says, yes, I've seen that show, Colony. Yeah, I used to love that show. As, anybody that hasn't seen it, if you can get a chance to look at it, it is very interesting psychological breakdown of of the different psychological types that emerge when under oppression. That's how I saw it. So I have recommended that show to like everybody because I didn't see it as entertainment, excuse me. I saw it as, oh, these are the type of people that emerge under certain conditions, which of course black people have been subject to those conditions for centuries. So it was easy, I guess that's why it made it so easy to recognize. But it wasn't about black people. It was about a European family, but you get to see how each person responds to an event. It's, they use science fiction to, you know, um, oh, okay. You're saying yes, you've seen Colony. Yeah. But yeah. No, it's not the same. Yeah. But as far as the other thing, yeah, not the same numbers, but last time I saw them anyway, they were still here. Um, Brother, you got ripped off says, stop fighting for reparations and start fighting for justice. Bobby Wright and Marcus Garvey told us this already. Hey, you know, you got to resist to exist. Lord Vale says his birthday is on the 13th. Oh, so your birthday's on Black Love Day? I want to go somewhere warm. Most likely will be Miami, not Cali. All right, so give it up. Give it up. Some clap emojis for Lord Vale and some whatever else you got for his birthday coming up. Because I may not be on before your birthday, or I may be on your birthday. So, speaking of which, the next show that is scheduled, I promise you all this for 100 years, seemingly. So I'm just going to do it. I was taking a lot of time to do it because I didn't have a lot of good news, but we are going to do the Brothers Guide to Dating While Conscious. I'm going to do that show. I'm going to do that show this upcoming weekend. And in addition to that, probably we'll have a special guest next Sunday. That's the plan right now. And I'll let you know when that's confirmed. Right? So shout out to you, Lord Bell. Hey, whatever you do, enjoy yourself, but be safe. I would tell you don't do anything that I wouldn't do. But when I was your age, I was doing things that I wouldn't do now. So I'm not going to tell you that. Just going to tell you to enjoy yourself and be safe. So, brothers and sisters, I think that I will begin to close out. I will let the birthday and born day messages continue for Lord Vale. I thank you all again for coming through and listening. It's been a while, and I try to keep it from being as long moving forward. Like sometimes I just have to decompress. Sometimes, just have to take a deep breath and think for a moment. Because there are definitely times that I don't want to come on and say things that I'll regret because the internet's forever, you know. Internet is forever. But we're gonna keep moving forward with this thing. And I'm going to check to see, but I will see when I can get some videos on OTW Tube. So instead of making a backup here, I'll more than likely I have an account there, but I'll more than likely activate the account there. As long as things are ready and up and running. So with that, brothers and sisters, again, don't forget Follow me on Instagram at dc.radical1, on Twitter at dc_radical_one. The Cash App is there, $ DC Radical One. And of course, this is the YouTube page. And the next event is indeed the Dr. Welsing event, Death and Rebirth of the Goddess Black Woman, in memory and in honor of Dr. Francis Cress Welsing. And sister says, I appreciate you, brother, missing you and Jeannie's lectures. Yeah, we're gonna get back on the horse. We want to make things right, and our preferred venue. We want to make sure our preferred venues are available and up to snuff. We want to make sure everything is up to par and up to SBPM standards. So with that, I say a BB for Hodier and straight black pride.